You know, Bob Hoover, what can you say? Wow, right? I mean, we're all pilots. He's an aviator, and there's not that. So he has won so many awards. It doesn't even, you shouldn't even start a list here. We'd be here all day long. Plus the fact is he's known all the pioneers in aviation, including the Wrights. So without further ado, Bob, would you tell us whatever you want to tell us about the T-28?
Well, I had the privilege of making the first flight on a T-28B model, and it was kind of an interesting experience. Generally speaking, most of the large aircraft companies back in that era would have a big event out of a first flight, meaning that the press would be notified. They're trying to sell airplanes all over the world. And if it was a military airplane, we had a big contingency of people out of Washington, a lot of senators and congressmen and Secretary of Defense and whichever, whether it was Air Force or Navy or Marine Corps, we'd have the top people there. And we had a ceiling in the Los Angeles airport at that area, all around the whole LA basin, that was running between 300 and 500 feet. And Dutch Kellenberger was the founder and president of North American, and he said, Bob, he said, I am so tired of having to be out on this ramp waiting for a break in the weather. He said, is there anything you can do about getting this airplane airborne to get these people out of here? Well, I guess it's been going on for 5 days, no break in the ceiling. And I ended up at saying, well, Dutch, if it gets to 500 feet, I can take it off. I've been flying the A model for so long before the B came along, and I knew and anticipated exactly what I could and couldn't do with the airplane. And with all that excess power with the B model, it was just amazing what capabilities the airplane possessed. And I said, I can take it off, get the gear up, and get it back down on the runway all in one pass. And I said, there'd be nothing to it. The only problem I've got is that the manager of flight test is not an aviator. Dutch had been a World War I pilot, and he knew flying. And I said, the manager of flight test would fire me because he told me that I had to have 1,000 feet ceiling for the first flight. And I said, if you want to protect me, I can do it. He said, go get in it and have at it. And so I did, and it worked out fine, no big deal at all. And sure enough, I got a call to come to the flight test manager's office. He went everywhere by train or bus. He hated airplanes. And yet he was head of all the test pilots. And they kept 6 of us in experimental at all times. And I finally just listened to him and let him get it off his chest. And I said, well, why don't you call Dutch Kellenberger? He's the one that asked me to take the airplane airborne. And that ended that conversation. But I had a lot of experiences, and for those of you who are T-28 pilots, I would like to share some of them with you, and maybe it could help you in the event of some difficulty you might have. Some out-of-the-box things that can and can't be done.